know.
Yeah, bro. Been what, a
had-
month?
Since our
Uh,
last episode?
No, since me and you had one. We had an episode 2 weeks ago, but you were
All
gone
right.
because your house was too hot.
I bitched out. Expect
I
more of that.
I didn't make fun of you. I just said it's too hot for Derek. I said it all factually and let the viewers make their own decisions.
Decide which is. But here's because we live on a like 3-level townhome.
Oh, 3-level townhome. Check out
and-
Mr. Owns a or
w-
lives in a house instead of an apartment.
Why we don't have AC like my other bougie podcast co-host here. So
Hey man, off-season purchase of I think it was like $300.
was it?
Barely cools down the bedroom, but when you got a baby, you got to make sacrifices.
I almost bit the bullet. We were at Costco last week and they had one for 500 and I was like,
Yeah, and then it just you're lucky it's a good thing you didn't because it didn't get hot or it got cool right after that and it's been cool since.
Yeah.
But we got addicted to ours, so we keep
it'll get hot again, but we're also gone the entire month of July, so I don't know.
Oh, gone the entire month of July. Oh, maybe I should get some guests, or do you want to come in remotely from Paradise?
We can do either or, but I'll be 3 hours ahead of you, and at least one of those days. Actually, the internet at Kate's like beach house is kind of shit, but
Oh, at the beach house.
at the beach house.
Sorry, but the internet at my beach house isn't quite up to snuff for podcasting.
We'll see how it is. Hey, before we get into all that, welcome to episode 237
God
of.
damn, is it 37?
I don't know.
It
That's what
is.
your little doc says.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was 27 for some reason, but it's
Episode
37.
237 of Outrage Factory, the podcast where we listen or where we don't listen, we talk. You listen, listener,
Exactly.
about the things that made people mad online this week and explain why they're not for caring. I am your occasional co-host, Derek Bolin.
I'm your all the time co-host because I'm addicted to this. I need this. This is
He
the
just
only
loves the sound of his own voice.
This is the only productive non at my job thing I do, so I need it.
It's your outlet.
I need it. I need the attention of our millions of listeners.
You see this stupid fucking thing Zoom has now, where if it recognizes that you're doing a thumb raise, it does the little wait.
I just saw that in the corner.
Watch it. Wait, can I do this? If you put your hand up, the camera will read your gestures, and it does if you wait. How do I?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Well, okay. Wait. Watch.
Okay.
Now, if I hold it up for long enough, it'll do a little hand raiser emoji. And if
Oh,
I do a
what?
thumbs up.
Oh man.
Hold on. It's not doing it. Lower hand. Okay. If I do a thumbs up,
Yeah.
it works 10% of the time. Sorry, listeners.
I saw it come up before. Is that for team meetings,
Yeah.
work meetings, what you're supposed to use this for? Why does
See,
my
so
hand
look
look
what
so
I'm
weird?
doing right now. If
Yours
my thumb
looks
is
up.
just if my thumb is just this, then it's
Yeah.
oh, and I do this in meetings all the time, and it'll do thumbs up emoji, and they'll be talking about the most random shit, and all of a sudden it's oh, Derek reacted with the thumbs up.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Dale, what's been going on with you the past 2 weeks there, buddy? How's dad life?
Dad life is great. I'm fucking loving it. I don't know. It's just I go to work and I come home and then I stare at my daughter and tell her how cute she is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kiss her face. I don't know.
That's good.
I don't know what's a weird amount for a dad to kiss his daughter's face, but she's only 8 months or 8
Well,
weeks,
I mean, when they're this
doesn't
age,
count.
it's no weird amount. Once she's 18 or so, you'll probably want to dial that back a little bit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, nothing exciting's happened. I thought I was super bonered up for the debt ceiling thing in the States, and then it just turned into a big nothing burger because they're like, oh yeah, we passed it, whatever. Because it was getting up, because they had till June 5th, which is Monday, to pass it, and they just passed it on Thursday. So it was kind of getting up, and it could have crashed the world economy if they would have fought over it enough, but they
Well,
didn't.
that's the like, they were never gonna let and they do the
No.
same fucking song and dance every, like, 3 or 4 years, and they're like, "We gotta raise the debt ceiling," and then whatever the the opposition party is like, "No, we're not gonna
Mhm.
let you do that." But, like, everyone knows that these fucks, because 'cause they're all the, like, governing elites, right? They're not gonna
Yeah.
crash the economy because that would crash their net worth as well.
Oh,
So they
yeah.
were never, ever gonna let that happen. Um,
The
but
thing
they like
is
to, like, drum up everyone's like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, it might happen."
The thing is I've started listening to a political podcast called Breaking Point because it's good and they, like, go over the news. So this is the first big political thing that's happened since I've been listening to this more than, like, twice a week, and it was like, because it, like, involved, do you remember the, like, speaker election and stuff, how it went
Yeah.
to, like, 19 rounds and that was a big deal? Well, apparently, the only way that, was it McConnell who got
No,
in?
who was it?
Mitch McConnell. Yeah,
McCarthy?
McCarthy. I
There
always
you go.
get McConnell and McCarthy. So, anyways, the only way McCarthy got in was he made a deal with the Freedom Caucus, which is like the alt right group in, or the far right group in the fucking Republicans. And then this podcast kept telling me, they're like, the Freedom Caucus could make it so that if was it McCarthy? Yeah, if McCarthy makes a deal with Biden, they're not going to let it
McCarthy.
pass and all this stuff. And then so I was like, "Holy shit, is this gonna go down?" But then they made a deal, and it was just like a big fucking wet blanket on my political erection. I think this
Sorry,
is
how
the other reason why I don't like politics, because it's either fucking super boring or it's like this huge buildup and then nothing
nothing.
happens. Yeah.
It's always super fucking boring. So here's like where I'm at in my life right now. I finally basically just like I didn't deactivate my Twitter account, but I like signed out, changed the password. I no longer have access to my Twitter account. Like I
Oh,
cannot
really?
sign back in. Um and I just
Why?
like cuz I'm just like Dale,
No, I get it.
like I'm
Twitter's
just like
terrible.
Twitter sucks and like every interaction on there is with some fucking idiot moron who wants to just like come at you to prove their moral superiority,
Yeah.
regardless of what side of an issue they're on.
Mhm.
And then it finally got to a point. You may not know this about me, but I do not like Elon Musk that much as a person, and I don't approve of the man's business
Yeah, but
decisions.
you're fine. It's finally turning into like pop culture starting to turn on Elon Musk. So you're finally coming into a time where you can openly criticize him and people won't be like, I love Elon Musk.
Yeah, but
He's a robot god.
even then, I was like, just by like being on Twitter, I was making money for Elon Musk. Whether you're like just the mere presence of being it's
Oh.
like if you don't have to pay for a service, you're the product. So
Mhm.
like by being on Twitter, I was contributing to Elon Musk's net worth and there nothing is happening on Twitter right now to like justify that for
That's
because like
true.
every interaction on Twitter is just absolute dog shit. And I don't use it to promote. There was a time where I was like, oh, I have to use Twitter to promote what's happening at work, and I have to use Twitter to promote my podcast, and I have to use Twitter. And now I'm just like, I don't want to promote anything. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna get the fuck off Twitter. And dude, it's amazing. Like, there's so much shit that like the rest of the world the rest of the online world is getting mad about all the time. And
Yeah.
like a good example, you posted, I didn't even know there was an election that had happened in Alberta until you posted an Edmonton Oilers meme in our group chat. And like I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine like everyone on Twitter being like, oh, fuck, the Conservative Party won, and now we're all fucked for 4 years, and I'm leaving Alberta, and they hate the LGBTQ. And I just like blissful obliviousness. Like I
Yeah.
had no idea what was going on. Nothing changed in my life. I don't give a fuck who's running Alberta. There was a time where I would have pretended to give a fuck because it made
Yeah.
me seem like a good person online. I don't fucking care anymore. So like there's so much of that and like the debt ceiling thing. You were sending me updates and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I was
Like,
asked. Well, when it comes to like American politics, I'm not like, gee, I gotta get Derek's hot. Well, I am kind of like, I gotta get Derek's hot take because you're married to an American, and
yeah.
you just said you were going to America for a month. So I
Yeah.
figured you might be paying attention to it, and I
No,
was kinda, like, looking for, like, is this as big a deal as this podcast I'm listening to is making me think it is? Or am I, like, falling victim to this echo chamber effect where somebody makes it a big deal and you don't hear anybody else saying it's not a big
not a
deal
big deal.
because
Yeah.
nobody else is really talking about it, so you just take their word for it?
Well, it would be a very big deal if it ever happened, but there is like
Mhm.
less than a 0% chance of it ever happening because the people who control both sides of government in the United
Yeah.
States, they are it's no like it's not people who are there to govern. It's generally now at this point, it's people there who are there to expand their influence and their net worth and their like personal
Mhm.
brand. And you don't get to do that by torpedoing the entire American economy.
Oh,
You,
yeah. And it's like, if the Republicans won anything, it's like not everybody is like, "Cool, I'm okay with the Republicans," but anytime they, like, make it so Parliament can't run when they, like, do a holdout shit, everybody's like, "I fucking hate the Republicans. They
yeah.
should get out of there." Oh, speaking of American politics, this is the last thing I'm gonna bring up about American politics. Have you
Okay. Go.
seen what's happening with, like, how they're weekend at Bernie'sing this Dianne Feinstein chick who's in,
No.
like, this California senator?
Oh wait, I think I had seen something about it. Like she's
She's like 100,000 years old.
yeah,
She's basically how in the mental space that the Republicans are claiming Joe Biden is
Biden's in,
in.
but she's
Yeah,
actually there.
yeah. She
Holy
like
fuck, she's 89 years old.
yeah, and she like can't remember that she's at Parliament sometimes and or whatever caucus, the
Congress.
seat.
That
I don't know what they call it.
Congress.
Anyways, yeah,
The Sen
Congress.
oh, no, she's a senator, so it would be the
Yeah.
Senate.
Okay, at the Senate. See, I still don't know much about politics, but anyways, but it's like just funny how they're like nobody wants her to retire, and it's like it's in California, so it's like on top of this is the dumbest thing ever because Gavin Newsom, who's the governor of California,
Yeah.
he was just like, "I'm going to replace Feinstein when she finally gives in with a black woman." And he's like, he didn't say anything else. He's just like, I want a black woman, which seems racist to me when you say, when you like act like it's a shopping list for senators, when you're like, you know which one I want? Nothing to do with like their credentials or anything.
Well,
It's
that's
just
like
like,
I'm sure if and I say this as a white man, which is quite literally the polar opposite of a black woman. But
mhm,
if were a black woman, I think I would want to get a job based on, like you said, like the
yeah.
merits of my actions. I wouldn't want to just like tick the boxes. Oh, you're black, check. Oh, you're also a woman, check. You're in. You're a candidate. Like I would want to feel like I had earned it rather than it was just given to me because of my race and my sex.
But, but I agree with you, but on the other hand, I would love to just get a job handed to me, and then they're like, I don't have to have the credentials. I could just prove I belong there. Like I'm in some like 80s comedy movie where I'm like, it's me against the rich guys and stuff, like some ski
Imagine
school movie or whatever.
going to a job interview and you
Yeah.
sit down and a guy walks in with the clipboard and he looks at you and he's like, "You're white? Yep. You're a male. Okay, you're hired. Here is the job. That's it. That's the job. That's the whole job interview. You're white. You're a dude. I can see that by looking at you. It's
Derek, I
yours.
already work in the
It's yours."
trades.
Zing.
Mhm. That's funny. I
Um,
yeah, yeah. Uh yeah, I think I'm done talking about American politics.
well,
Are
it was
you done
just like
talking about American politics?
yeah, I was gonna say all the other shit that's been going on that I've like kind of like witnessed from the out, like the what is it? But why are people fucking losing their minds over Pride specifically this year? Whereas like it's
Oh,
been a thing that's been
because
running for fucking ever.
I'll tell you why. It's because this is basically the boiling point of all the like drag queen shit and all the trans and athlete shit. It's basically everything's coming to a head and it's the pendulum is finally swinging back, and pride is like kind of like a bystander collateral damage, because it's like now all these right-wing bigots and stuff who before were claiming they're like, I'm only looking out for my kids, I don't want like queens to talk to my kids at library story hour. Now they're like going a step further, and they're just like, anybody who says they're pro pride, I'm not a fan of. So it's like this huge conservative like pendulum swinging back where they're like boycotting Target because they have kids clothes that say pride on them and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you want to hear something? Okay. I said I wasn't going to talk about American politics, but did you hear what happened to Senator Ted Cruz, the guy everybody kind of hates?
Oh,
The
I
guy from
saw.
Texas?
So I saw he actually made a very based comment, which was like, you're talking about the Ugandan
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
So Uganda passed a basically like super fucking restrictive.
Yeah, where it's like it's against the law to be gay, and well, it's not against the law to be gay, it's against the law to have homosexual sex, and it's
Yes.
like if you do aggravated sex, which I think is like homosexual rape, isn't it?
Well,
I don't know
no.
what they don't explain what aggravated sex is, so you kinda have to like,
Well,
interpret it
they
as you will,
they
but like
left it so
that's
they could
the
interpret it
death
at their will.
penalty, and then it's like if you are caught in if you're caught like smooching a dude and you're a dude, you go to jail for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And basically, it's like the most draconian bullshit law that's ever happened. Well, I guess probably not in a place like Uganda.
Not in Uganda, but in America. So Ted Cruz, which represents a country that by and large is like, hey, we are like, freedom is our core fucking value. We, even if we don't agree with what you're doing, we will defend your right to do it.
Mhm.
So Ted Cruz comes out and says, like, he basically condemns this Ugandan bill. And I didn't see the back, but was he taking shit? Like, did he get to
Oh,
take
he
shit
took
for it?
some shit. He I can't remember who it was, but some other senator or politician from the states just like was like, what the fuck are you doing, Ted Cruz? You can't defend this or whatever. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is disgusting. We can't have these laws and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like even the like lashback on pride is so bad that they're even going after their boy Ted Cruz, who was like he was like a fucking almost rock star for the Republicans for a bit.
Well, I would say that that's basically like a byproduct of how the culture war has just rotted
Mhm.
everyone's brains, because it's, you can't even say something which is like, it's hard to argue with a statement that people shouldn't be killed for being gay
Yeah.
unless you spent the last 2 years online
Mhm.
reading about how gay people are all trying to groom your kids and destroy them
Mhm.
and erode family values, and they're shoving
Yeah,
gay
you're
in your
like
face
been
everywhere you
blue
go.
anoned. Or
Yeah,
not blue anon,
red,
QAnon.
cute, yeah. Um,
Sorry.
the other part that I love is that, like, and this part I'm wildly in favor for, is that like all these fucking bullshit pandering corporations that have been doing
Mhm.
like rainbow capitalism for the past fucking however long as like a cash grab rather than
Yeah.
actually having like sincere belief in it, are just getting fucked. Like, we saw Bud Light when it was like uh
The
there was
Dylan Mulvaney.
the Dylan Mulvaney thing, and then they, to try and appease the conservatives that drink it, they like distance themselves from the Dylan Mulvaney thing, and then they ended up getting fucked. And now liberals and conservatives will not drink Bud Light.
Although, see, the funny thing is, like, this all stems from like that ESG thing I keep talking about and complaining about, like
Yeah,
the environmental, socialist, and
social.
governance.
Yeah,
Like, um, they're like it's like a social. Oh, fuck, why can't I think of words right now? It's like a social credit score for corporations where they're judged on those three things. So it's like Bud Light used to have a perfect ESG score because they never done anything bad and they're good for the environment and they like have open governance or whatever. But then they launched this Dylan Mulvaney thing to try get like a higher ESG score, which I guess they're just trying to get. It's like you can, as a corporation, if you up your ESG quotient. It's like it's weird, really murky. I tried to look into it, but it's like it even delves into like carbon credits shit where if like your ESG is high enough, you can get like a deal when you buy carbon credits from someone else, then you could sell them. I don't know. It's all fucking crazy. But Bud Light had this perfect ESG score. Then they do the Mulvaney thing, just like as a hey, look at us, we're so good. But then when they distanced themselves from it and they didn't back up their Dylan Mulvaney thing, it negatively affected their ESG score. So now their ESG credit score has gone
He's
down
worse.
because of this whole thing. And they've lost like, I don't know, people say they lost $20 billion. I find that hard to believe, but also easy to believe at the same time because you never know. Like it could be whatever. But then they said they're going to like launch a camouflage can, which is hilarious.
Um, that is hilarious. I'm just checking Anheuser-Busch stock. I don't think it's doing that much because people just like that's like one fucking
Oh yeah.
brand
Plus
out
it's
of
like
many.
we to discuss like I think 2 episodes ago, Anheuser-Busch owns some of their own competition. So it's like if Bud Light loses $20 billion, Anheuser-Busch probably still makes that 20 billion in one of the other beer products they
Yes.
sell.
And now we've seen that play out with Target,
Mhm.
which I want to go on record saying I fucking love Target. Like I
Oh,
love
dude, when Target was in Canada for that like 3 months, it was
it was glorious.
amazing.
Glorious. I
Yeah.
still like whenever we go to the States, I have to visit. I have to do at least one shopping trip at
Oh, it's
Target
so
every
cheap. I
every
love it.
fucking time. I love it.
It's like
Um
Walmart, but not shitty.
Target, yeah, exactly. Target took some heat for carrying Pride clothes, and then now that they're removing some of the Pride items from like
Mhm.
their children's section or whatever, they're taking heat from LGBTQ groups. And then
Yeah.
another example of this was the Los Angeles Dodgers were having a Pride night, and there was one specific group that like basically they like dress up as nuns, but they're
Yeah.
like gay rights activists. Um,
Okay.
the sisters of something something, um, and they disinvited this one group because there was backlash from conservatives about it, and then there was backlash, and then like the entire Pride community in LA said we are withdrawing from this event. So it's like all these corporations that have been trying to like go ahead, yeah,
The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
thank
I
you,
just
Dale,
Googled it. No
thank
problem.
you. Um,
Oh, that's kinda hot.
so all these
Some slutty nuns. I'm down.
all
Oh,
these
those are dudes. I'm still down.
that's that's
Some
the rub.
sexy drag queen nuns?
Hell yeah. All
I mean,
these
I can't touch, I
corporations.
could still look because 'cause I'm pretty much married to my girlfriend now that we have a child, so
Yes. I mean, you were pretty much married. I don't think you had the option to play the
Derek,
field much
don't take
before
this
that, Dale.
away from me. I had options. Women were
It's like
into me.
now I'm committed. I didn't have to be up until 3 months ago, but now,
Do you wanna hear the most fucked up stat about our podcast?
yeah,
Well, the
it's mostly
Facebook page gets viewed by more women than men.
yeah. Same with our general listenership, I think, isn't
What?
it?
Yeah. Uh,
It's because we're so handsome.
do I have to apologize for all the times I said clam jam or whatever?
No, just
What
referring
was
to it
it?
as a clam.
No, I can't remember what I said. I don't know. I referred to it as I referred to it as a climb. I'm sorry retroactively
No, you don't have to.
for all
If you haven't apologized up till this point, it's not going to do any good now.
well,
You're like these
that's true.
corporations who are like, oh, I'm trying to like pander to my audience, but
Yeah. We're
and
gonna
now
lose
the
our
people,
right-wing audience
yeah,
because I
now the
like
people
women.
that are pro clam are gonna pull their advertising dollars from us. We're gonna get fucked from both sides. So like, I hope this whole thing is sending a very strong message to corporations in that just stop trying to play both sides of
Yeah.
the coin. You're not going to do it. Either come down on one side and tell everyone to fuck off or don't
Mhm.
get involved, which is personally where the CEO of a corporation, I would do that and just not get
Yeah.
involved and not pick a side because you basically have I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but politics seem and social issues seem to be getting more and more polarizing and extreme. Whereas, like a
You're
decade
not wrong,
ago,
sir.
Pride was like generally accepted, save for like a small group of like fundamentalist Christian bigots who were like, "Man, I don't want to see rainbows at Target." And now it's like you're either for Pride or you're against Pride, and there's no
Yeah.
middle ground. And there's going to
And
be
you
a
have to
lot.
be all the way for Pride.
Yeah, all the way. I
You have to
like.
be like assless chaps in the parade for Pride.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
but
you're either assless chaps for Pride or you're like a cross burning bigot.
yeah,
Those are the only two options.
you're either sucking a stranger's dick for Pride, or you're the Ugandan prime minister. Like, there's no
Oh,
there's
or
no
you're
middle ground.
you're either sucking a stranger's dick for Pride or you're lying about sucking a stranger's dick for Pride.
Fuck. Um, yeah, so like it's gonna get harder and harder for corporations to like do any of this
Yeah.
shit without it just alienating 50% of their potential market.
I'm with you. I 100% respect apolitical fucking corporations.
Yeah,
Don't tell me what you're for or what you're against, even if it's everything I like. I don't care.
yeah,
Just give me the stuff because that way, like if I like a movie or I guess movies don't count because they're art form. Okay, if I like a product, like if I go to Walmart and I buy stuff because it's cheap, that's the only reason I want to go there. I don't want to know their political stance on any of the like culture war topics. I just
well,
want to know that they're not employing kids and they're not breaking any laws and they're
if
nice
they
enough.
employ shitty kids, it's probably fine. Like, as long as the kids are assholes, I don't mind that so much.
Oh yeah, you go to fucking juvenile delinquency and any of the asshole kids that you see the videos out about on the internet,
Yeah,
make those work.
make
Those
those
ones
ones.
work.
Or like kids who think they're YouTube influencers, employ those kids because they're
Yeah.
irredeemable.
Or
I was
anybody
saying to
who's more popular than me on the internet.
because like, oh, that's gonna be most people. There, what fuck? Every so often, you'll like see someone post this like gotcha, and it's like, oh, like an athlete or an actor or something, and be like, they're actually conservative, and I'm like, I do not give a fuck what
Mhm.
they are. I don't give a fuck what the people who make my products are politically. I don't give a fuck about the athletes I like, what they are politically. I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
about the actors I watch or the musicians, what they are politically. I like, as if they're not singing or like acting or doing sports politically,
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. And I would just rather not know at all.
Oh
I
dude,
don't care if,
the best example of this is fucking Beck, the musician. I was listening to Guero, like
Guerra.
3
Yeah.
summers ago. I was listening to it like once a day. I was fucking on board. I was listening to that and some of his other albums. I was like, fucking Beck might be my favorite artist. Holy shit, this came out of nowhere. It just crept up on me. And then I read he was a Scientologist, and I was like, oh,
I
I can't
ruined it
even
for you.
listen to this the same. I would have been so much happier if I would have not known his religious beliefs or that he's part of Scientology for whatever reason.
Yeah.
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 Sorry, I said that in the middle of your point that you were making about stuff.
No, I think that basically made the point. It's like, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't care. I
Let's
don't
go back
care.
to Twitter a sec.
Okay.
I feel like it's a ghost town now. Like, is that just me? Like, I don't
I don't
know
know.
if it's
I'm
like
not there.
Elon
Yeah.
fucked with
I
some of the
can't tell you.
algorithms or like people just ignore me or I don't get like I don't get like the same suggested or whatever, but it feels like I only see tweets from like 5 people. Like I don't see anything from like out in the wild. Like I don't even see like angry tweets or whatever. But I guess a bunch of people in the Vancouver Twitter sphere blocked me a while ago, so
Yeah. Well, they might have
did me a
blocked you.
favor.
So what I found out, because they published like what actually goes into like Twitter's engagement algorithm,
Yeah.
and if you're blocked by people or you're muted by people, it like heavily penalizes like how many
Oh
people actually
shit.
see your tweets. So
Yeah. Oh, that would help.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna guess that they're probably
That's probably. I mean, it's weird, and it's like that happened, and I was like, I don't even. Or it might also be that I have a child now, and I pay way more attention to this child than I ever did to Twitter, and I might just be like, I only have like a certain amount of free time, and I spend less of it on Twitter than I did in the past. That's
yeah,
probably. I play
sucks ass.
dumb games on my phone now.
It sucks ass. Okay, wait,
Yeah.
actors you may not have realized are Republican. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, well, some of these are fucking like no names, and some of
I
them are
bet
very
half of
obvious.
them are pretty obvious. Hit
Uh,
me.
Vince Vaughn,
Yep, new.
Adam Sandler,
Huh,
huh?
huh.
Kurt Russell, not that surprising.
Yeah, I see that.
Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, that makes sense. She's dumb.
Who
And
else?
from the South.
Patricia Heaton, the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Like the mama or the wife or the
The
grandma?
wife, the wife.
Oh, that
Uh,
makes sense.
Laura Prepon from that '70s show.
Is that the redhead?
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually surprising. I didn't know that.
Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
That mustache is definitely
I
definitely
mean, it's
conservative.
weird because it's like I feel like anybody who is older than 50 and has money is just
Would
a
be
Republican by
would be
default.
conservative. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
reading somebody posted something to Reddit, and it was like talking about baseball players who are like politically conservative. And somebody was basically like, everyone
Yeah.
like baseball is the most politically conservative because it's all like kids who grew up in fucking Nebraska and now they have $20 million,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, no shit, they're going to be conservative. Like baseball is
Or
probably one
or it's like defectors from communist
From
countries
Cuba. Yeah.
who love conservative government ideals and small government and stuff because they
Yeah.
saw what happens on the bad side. Or it's people who just want to keep more of the money they have.
Yeah, which,
I mean, I'm not rich enough to be a conservative. That's the only reason I'm not.
and
Like
like
if yeah.
conservatives should honestly just go back to that and be like, hey, we're the small government party.
Mhm.
We'll take less of your money. You'll get
Yeah.
to keep more of your money. That's our whole message. Leave the culture war bullshit, like the fucking
Yeah.
abortion or the gay rights or the fucking whatever else. Just like leave it. Like that's not going
Yeah.
to win over like middle of the ground voters. It's the fucking small government. You keep more of your money. That should just be the message.
Yeah, like you guys getting rid of abortion pretty much means we have 4 more years of Biden.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, jerks.
Gary Sinise.
Oh, I mean, besides Laura Prepon, none of these are like surprising me. Like if you could pretty much
Kathy
tell
Ireland. Oh, God.
she's old though.
Yeah, what? No, Kathy Ireland will always look to me like she did on the cover of the 1989 Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
Yeah.
She has not aged from that day.
Hey, do you think
That's
in do you think in 34 years people are going to be like remember the cover of Sports Illustrated from when we were kids? How sexy it was
how sexy.
when
Yeah.
fucking what's her name? Oh, my brain just doesn't work today.
Who?
The old chick that is like Martha Stewart. She was on the cover of Sports
Oh,
Illustrated
right.
swimsuit edition this year,
Martha
which
Stewart.
I mean, for an old chick, she got it going on.
Uh, they should have done. You know who's old and hotter than Martha Stewart?
That chick from 10, the movie 10,
Wait,
chick
what's
who's
the
married to
movie?
Flavor Flav. Ice T's wife,
Who's Ice T's wife?
Coco. I can't
What?
remember her. I don't know if her name's
Ice T's
Coco,
wife.
and she has a gigantic ass.
Oh, Coco Austin.
Yeah,
Damn, she's 44? That's not
what?
like I'm talking
She's
like old.
44. Oh my god, I feel so bad. I thought she was so old. I
You're like,
thought she was
oh,
like
for a
60.
really old lady.
Yeah. She's the
Uh,
same age. She's a year older than me, and I'm like that old bitch. And I just have like age dysmorphia where I just feel and think I'm way younger than I am.
fuck. Helen Mirren. There we go.
There you go. I'd like to see her in a bikini
Yeah.
a
Okay.
100 years
Well,
ago.
no, you made it weird. Can we talk about
Nancy
what's
Pelosi. They should have put that picture of Nancy Pelosi on the beach with the big guns that they found in Tucker Carlson's office
Oh my
at
god, I saw
Fox
the
News.
most cursed thing. Somebody did an AI generated image search, but it was like Nancy Pelosi as Jessica Rabbit, and it's
Oh
just
shit.
like I'll see if I can find it and send it to you. But it's
I saw one that somebody had made of Nancy Pelosi doing Baywatch, but the Jessica Rabbit one's better. That's hilarious. I
um
love how everybody was like, "Oh, Tucker Carlson's a creep," and then other people were like, "Oh, let's get even creepier. Let's just make the worst pictures
yeah.
imaginable." On this hand, I agree with AI fully. If you're making weirdo perverted pictures of like political figures and people who shouldn't be in horny pictures, then I'm all down.
Well,
Use
yeah,
AI for that.
think how much more productive this is gonna make the like it used to be if you wanted like Simpsons porno, you had to like painstakingly draw it yourself. And now you can just
Yeah,
generate it through AI in a matter
yeah.
of second wait.
Or fill up your computer with viruses by searching for it on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
But hey,
generate
let's
now.
actually talk about one that's on our list about how AI is dog shit.
Oh, you want to do that? Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
This segue, because everybody's like, "Oh, AI is going to take everybody's jobs." Oh, AI, it's like all these companies are like BuzzFeed. They're like, "We're firing everybody because we're going to have AI," and it's like for writing and shit, copy and paste has existed since like computers for like 30 years. And I don't understand how now that a computer is just copy and pasting and pulling from the internet faster than a person could, that all these jobs are gone. Because like, why wasn't free interns copy and pasting from Wikipedia? Why wasn't that crushing like all these news organizations and all this stuff? Like, I just don't understand how AI pulling from the internet is going to crush a news site more than just some Joe working at a computer pulling from the internet. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, not even remotely. But I will admit that for the first half of that, I was trying to find an AI image generator that would generate Simpsons porn.
Hey, that's fine. That's fully understandable as you do. But
You want to run that back a little.
okay, well, the reason I'm bringing this up is there was a lawyer who did the dumbest thing possible that you could think of. A lawyer used ChatGPT to prepare a court filing, and
Oh
it
my
went
god,
horribly awry
why? Why?
because I guess this lawyer shouldn't be stupid because they're smart enough to be a lawyer. But I guess I'm just going to say this lawyer was hard pressed for time and didn't have time to properly type this out or didn't have a free intern like everyone else. So, a lawyer who was using ChatGPT on behalf of a man suing an airline, his name was Robert. Oh no, wait. Let's see. Robert Maida was the guy who sued Colombian Airline or Colombian Airline, alleging that metal food and the beverage cart injured his knee in the flight. And then, uh, so wait, where is this? Who's this Evian? Oh, sorry, it's just okay. So, anyways, his lawyer used ChatGPT to come up, and it used all these. It like cited all these previous court cases as precedent of like so and so versus so and so, and then pulled examples from those. But the problem was ChatGPT just made it all up and just invented fucking court cases that never actually happened about lawyers who don't exist suing other airlines that never happened. So
I fucking love it. I wonder if ChatGPT did this intentionally, just to be like, oh, this is like one small step against humans. Uh,
yeah.
and that's the dumbest. People seem to like also still fundamentally understand the
Yeah.
purpose of ChatGPT, which is like ChatGPT cannot think. It doesn't use
Yeah.
logic. It doesn't use reason. What it does is it learns how to put words together in coherent sentences and paragraphs, and then
Mhm.
it spits those words out at you. And
Yeah.
it makes no claims about whether they're accurate or whether they're well researched or not. Um, so that is what ChatGPT is currently supposed to be used for.
Mhm.
And I think like, yeah, this lawyer should fucking absolutely be like disbarred
Yeah.
because
And the thing is that everybody thought like what you were saying about ChatGPT. They thought it would just be able to basically Google really fast and copy and paste the results and put it together in a functioning document. They didn't expect it to like average out what happened and then just make up cases. Like the cases that it made up were Martinez versus Delta Airlines, Zickerman versus Korean Airlines, and Varghese versus China Southern Airlines, which all sound to me like they would be legit cases, but apparently they're all made up. And there's this other instructor at MIT. He got his he got 60 of his students to write an essay with ChatGPT on purpose. He's like, okay, everybody's going to get ChatGPT to make an essay, and he's like, they had to come up with their idea and whatever. But the actual assignment was to later go over the essays and fact check them from like what ChatGPT put in as like no, facts and stuff. And every single essay failed. All 60 of them, the AI just made up shit and just put it in the essay that's not true. So
Made shit up.
it's like how remember when Wikipedia first came out and we weren't supposed to like trust anything it said because everybody had the ability to edit it and everybody was paranoid that it would be bullshit. That's where ChatGPT is right now. It's like beginning Wikipedia where it's just all bullshit except for it's not dudes being funny in their mom's basement. It's just some computer making it up.
Computers making shit up to dupe us into fucking up our lives and losing our jobs and whatever else. And that is what the robots want. It wants us to all be unemployed because we use ChatGPT to do shit like write fucking legal briefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On what if you think about it though, this is almost more impressive that like because it's like you think about it and you think AI would just like conglomerate everything, but since it's like has the ability to just like make it up and invent new things, this would be good for like movie plots and stuff. But other than that, it is horse pucky.
It was great. I used ChatGPT to finish writing your werewolf novel.
Oh, did you?
What?
Did you
Yeah.
sell it? Are you famous?
What did I do? What
What?
the prompt for it was write a short story about werewolves. And it did.
Nice.
It did that.
Dope.
Uh,
That would be a lot easier to finish my novel than saying, "Hey, I should finish my novel," and then never actually doing anything about it.
you for real? It's like it's really good. Like I use it to write shit all the time, especially if there's like long like proposals that I need to write or like reports or anything like that. Like for work, I'll be like, here are the inputs. Write this in like paragraph format, and it just like spits something
Oh,
out that's
really? I've
generally
never
pretty
even used
usable.
it.
It's
I've never
dope.
used ChatGPT. I've used the art ones like, fuck, I can't even remember, but like I've used the art ones where it's like, but I'm always like a grizzly bear in space who's a samurai, and then you say like what art form you want it, and it spits something out, and it always looks bunked and weird, but it's still cooler than just having to go draw it yourself.
Yeah, super cool. I spent most of this conversation trying to find one that would draw me a nude Marge Simpson.
You still haven't
No luck. No luck.
uh
They all
maybe
have
Dally 3 or whatever it is. The whatever the newest one is will do it. But a lot of them too have like sensor filters on them, which is
yeah,
annoying.
that's why. It's like just let me
Yeah.
see like why does a robot care if I can't see a nude cartoon character? Nude Marge Simpson.
I think it's mostly copyright. Like it'll mostly hit you with copyright stuff.
Nude cartoon sheep.
Ew, sheep.
I don't know. Can we talk about this barefoot
I
thing?
was just gonna say, let's talk about how your barefoot summer is ruined.
Because I think out of everything in here, this is the one I care most about.
That's I
Um,
oh Andrea told me about it. She's like, "Hey, there's this barefoot thing. Do you want to talk about it on the podcast?" I was like, "Yeah, Derek hates feet." She's like, "I know. I send him feet stuff all the time." I was like,
all
"Me
the fucking
too."
time. Yeah.
Dude, have you ever heard of the show Silent Library?
No. Is
It
it about
is
feet?
the example I'm gonna give you is about feet. It is the best game show that's ever been invented. It's like a Japanese game show, but they had MTV did an American version. But what it is you get 6 guys and the setting is you're in a library or 6 people, not to gender it, and it's like there's a challenge and it's like Jackass but a little bit lighter, and they each have a card and one of the cards has a skull on it and all 6 flip it over and the one with the skull has to do the challenge, but the whole point of the show is since you're in a library, you have to be quiet because there's like a sound meter, and the more noise you make, the less money you make off the challenge, and one of them was foot fondue. And this guy came, and there's this old guy like dressed up as a waiter, and it was like it's Japanese, so it's funnier because it's this like old regal looking Japanese guy. And the guy on the game show, he sits in a chair, and the old guy comes out with a chocolate fountain that's running, so it's shooting chocolate down, and then the old guy like slowly and silently pulls off this guy's
Don't
sock and shoe
don't.
and dips his foot in the chocolate fountain and then like really loudly and grossly licks all the chocolate off of the guy's toes. It's like the funniest thing
Oh my
ever.
fucking god, that's so gross. I can't. I fucking cannot. I actually
Didn't
feel
even
nauseous hearing you describe that. Like,
the worst part is no wet wipe previous, just
just
sock
what?
off into the chocolate.
You didn't clean it or anything?
No, he just stuck it in the chocolate fountain. And the guy who was having it done to him, he like was so grossed out, he was like almost puking. He's
Yeah,
like,
I would
"Whoa."
I would be that guy. For those of you who are new to the podcast, I have the opposite of a foot fetish, whereas Dale is full on horny for
I'm
feet.
not horny for feet. I'm horny for how grossed out it makes you. Like
Oh,
I could
so
care less
fucking
if
gross.
I don't care either way. Like I've had in romantic situations, I've had girls suck on my feet, and I'm like, all right, I guess if that's what you want to do, this not really do anything for me. Like I like
Ugh,
the attention from a female, but past that, I'm not like now I have a fetish. It's all like feet stink sometimes, but I don't they're not as gross as other people. And the funny thing is there's a guy at work who also is the same as you and hates feet. And I'll wear like flip-flops to work and he'll be like, take those things off. And he'll just get mad that I wear.
yeah, that would also be me.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, you want to
uh,
talk about this barefoot
well, let's
summer
talk
thing?
talk. So, what barefoot boy summer is canceled?
Yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing. Although I do gotta say, don't fucking walk around barefoot. It should be common knowledge or common sense to not walk around barefoot. Not only will you like worst case or best case scenario is you step in dog poop and you have dirty feet. Worst case scenario is you get hookworms and it fucking affects the way you can think forever.
Well, what? And this is specifically talking about what, like walking around a fucking city barefoot, which like who would do that anyways?
Heading to coffee shops, hiking trails, airports, and anywhere else. Gross.
If you're fucking barefoot in an airport, like that I cannot fuck with. People who are barefoot in like public places or especially on airplanes, like people who get on the plane and pop their fucking shoes and socks off, like you're a fucking horrible human being. What?
What if I'm wearing flip-flops to begin with,
No.
and I just knock the flip-flops
You
off?
shouldn't be wearing
But I keep
flip-flops.
them on the floor.
Why are you wearing flip-flops on a plane? You know how
Gotta
dirty.
let my dogs bark,
No,
bro.
flip-flops are
My
for the
feet gotta
fucking
air.
they're for the fucking beach, bro. They're
No,
beach
man.
shoes and that's it.
You
That's
know what
it.
it is? It's because I wear fucking steel-toed boots at work, and my feet get so sweaty and gross at work. I just anytime I can let them air out, it feels good, and I always let them air out.
The beach. That's it. That's all they're good for. Shouldn't be wearing them anywhere else. I mean, a flip-flop, if you step on like a dirty hypodermic needle in a city,
Oof.
flip-flops aren't gonna protect you much more than going barefoot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never fucking walk on a street outdoors in bare feet. Like I remember when you once in a while you'd see a girl walking home from the bar and she'd take off her heels and walk barefoot and everyone was like, "Oh, gross, you're gonna get a disease."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
the appropriate response to seeing people barefoot in anywhere in public.
I'm sorry, I'm just skimming this article and looking for the specific reasons why you shouldn't be walking around barefoot, but did you know we've had sandals and moccasins for 40,000 years?
Cool, cool.
I didn't know we had footwear that long.
Moccasins cover more foot than,
Yeah.
yeah.
Moccasins are basically like animal hide socks that you use as boots.
Oh, what does it say? It says like bacteria or infection are a huge risk. Injury is a huge risk. Ew. Ugh, I can't.
Invisible germs, sharp objects on the ground, pests, heat, and invisible germs.
Yeah.
Um, what was that thing? There's this old thing I learned about on Joe Rogan, so you don't know what I'm talking about because you never listened to it, where it's
I
like,
would not.
you know how in the Southern US, like, the caricature is they're dumb and they have a Southern drawl and they're like, don't think as fast as stuff. Apparently, that's all from hookworms from back in the day when people would wear bare feet down there and then they would get hookworm in them and it would like, it affects like your mental acuity and stuff. Like, isn't that
What?
crazy? Like, imagine you get a fucking hookworm and then you're just dumb for the rest of your life. I mean, it would
From
kind of be
this
dope because you'd
worm?
be dumb. Yeah. I don't know if it's specifically hookworm, but there's something that goes in your fucking foot. Let me see. I'm gonna Google this. Hookworm intelligence
Oh,
problem?
I Google it. I Google it.
Don't
I'm
go.
closing the tab. I'm closing the tab. I,
Okay. Hookworm infection may cause cognitive impairment earlier than thought. Yeah.
I Google it.
I'm looking at a UMass medical school article instead of the disgusting pictures you look.
I Google that.
Evidence New research by Rafi von Arion suggests link between infection, changes in your microbiome, and cognitive development. So basically, what one of the theories is the Southern drawl came from people getting hookworms as their kids, and then their cognitive development not fully processing.
Damn.
Isn't that fucking wild? So
Yeah,
that's
that's
why you
why.
shouldn't do barefoot
That's it
summer.
right there. You're fucking over.
Yeah.
You're basically setting up that all of your genetic spawn will have some sort of mental Did you Google it?
No,
Did you Google it?
I'm reading more of this article. Listen to this. Hookworm infection is one of the leading causes of anemia, stunted growth, and malnutrition. The worms can live in the small intestine for a few years, typically, but for as long as 10 years, consuming blood and robbing their hosts of iron and protein, interfering with absorption of critical nutrients, and suppressing the immune system. Infection can lead to chronic anemia, as well as permanently stunt the physical and intellectual development of infected children. There you go.
How
Cancel
big
your
is a
fucking
10-year hookworm?
cancel your barefoot boy summer slash barefoot girl summer. Girls don't do it. Also, parents, don't let your kids run around because if you get hookworm as an adult, you're not really going to grow cognitively past that. But if you have a kid and it gets a hookworm, then you can get like stunted brain growth,
Where to buy
stunted schmarts.
hookworm eggs?
Yeah, people typically reside in poverty stricken areas with poor sanitation and are contaminated. Oh, you could get it from eating. Oh my god, this just ruined everything. I thought you could only get it by stepping on poop, but you could get it through contaminated soil and food. Common in the American South 100 years ago, hookworms were virtually eradicated in the United States through improvement in sanitation and public health efforts during the early part of the 20th century. Okay, I feel better now. That makes me feel a lot better.
No,
Still don't do
because
it.
here's what I was googling.
Yeah?
If you can buy hookworm eggs or like breed hookworms, and that's what I'm gonna do to keep people from going barefoot this summer. I'm gonna fucking If you're listening to this, I'm going to release millions of hookworms across North America in airports, in airplanes, basically anywhere except a beach. So nowhere is safe for you to be barefoot except the beach. Beach only. Otherwise, enjoy your hookworms, fuckers.
This is Derek's supervillain origin
It
story. Is
really is
how much he hates feet.
the worm, Doctor Hook, worm. Anyway,
Okay, wait.
we
Here I'm gonna get to the. After this, we could quit. According to Ar Aerorian,
areola.
Aeroian, that's the guy's name. I don't know. Anyways, prior research into this area has been hindered by the assumption that cognitive impairments happen due to developmental delays and malnutrition caused by long-term infection. While it is clear that heavy infection loads over time do impact development and brain function, said Arion, it is less clear if infection can cause acute cognition impairment independent of stunting. Anyways, yeah, that's it's
Dude, you
very
can actually
intellectual.
buy hookworm larvae online to like for the purpose of putting them in your body.
Oh, like the tapeworm diet thing? That was a weird thing in the 50s?
Well, it's like, what does it say here? It's like it can be used to treat
Having too much iron in your blood?
uh I don't know. What would you even use this for?
Uh,
The doctor who infected himself with hookworms. Oh, arthritis he used it for?
oh, weird.
Eh,
What? I guess you could,
Interesting.
because it absorbs protein. So if you have hookworms inside you, you can get like, because there's like the stuff that you get from like heart disease and stuff from eating too much proteins. Maybe if you have the hookworm in you and you just want to fucking hit up the fucking rib fest, get some hookworms and eat all the ribs you can handle.
Eat all the ribs you want, and then they just go straight to the hookworm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you have a little fat hookworm inside you. Did you look at the pictures of them like taking it out? Have you ever
No.
seen that shit? That's the
No.
most horrific thing about this whole thing is the
I've
way to
noticed
get
that.
a hookworm out of your bodies. One of the ways is I think this is the one where you put like meat on your arm and then it like comes out of your skin and you wrap it around a pencil and pull it out of your arm. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's it. And the tapeworm, have you ever heard of that one?
That one, yeah.
That's the one where you put like you starve yourself for a while and then you take curdled milk and you hold it by your mouth and then it starts crawling out of your mouth towards the milk and then they just pull on it to get it out.
I thought, don't you put food by your butthole and then it crawls out your butthole?
I mean, dealer's choice at that point. Although I imagine it would be hard to, it would have to get through your sphincters because you have like the inside sphincter and the bottom sphincter. And like
Marge.
you might have that like I know when dogs have tapeworms, it comes out their butt and you pull it out their butt.
Marge Simpson with a tapeworm. With a tapeworm crawling out her butthole.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm googling hookworm to see if this is the one. Oh god,
This
hidden
prompt
images.
doesn't abide by our content standards. Please provide a new
Oh,
prompt. Fuck you, AI.
gross. Ew, they look like aliens. Ugh.
Hookworm leaving the body.
Oh, gross. Oh, that's dude, did you see all these pictures of hookworms in feet?
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
gotta be
that's what I
right up your
Googled.
alley.
The
Yeah, because they
fucking
go in your foot. Fuck.
ugh. So yeah, so
They
really,
look like they look like pink varicose veins. Now, if I ever get a varicose vein, I'm gonna have like a panic attack.
if you're Googling or if you're listening to this podcast, Google hookworms in feet and then understand that thanks to my spreading hookworms all over the continental United States and Canada, that is what'll happen if you don't wear not just footwear, full fucking closed-toed shoes
Oh,
this summer.
bro, I can't wear my
Sorry.
Tevas,
No, you can't.
my
Fuck that.
fucking Jesus boots.
Fuck that. All right. Anything else, Dale?
That'll
That
make
that
my
puts us
feet
at a nice
way too
tight
hot.
hour. Tight hour.
Tight hour. Yeah,
Toy.
no, that's all that we kind of want to talk. The other ones are kind of dumb.
We can push them to the. I wanted to talk about the Baiju one just because I have personal experience there.
Oh,
But
you've drank Baiju?
oh yeah, Dwayne used to bring it. Were you with us the night that Dwayne came and visited from China and we drank Baiju and I ended up at the Roxy and I was like picking fights with people and got kicked out of the Roxy
No.
for aggressively trying to start fights with everyone? That
Oh,
is what
that's
Baiju does to me.
amazing.
It's nuts.
Okay.
We'll talk about it on next week's episode.
I'm gonna put that right now. I'm gonna put that in next week's or 2 weeks from now or however long. I'm gonna put it in there so I don't forget
All right.
because yeah, because we could talk about the influencer in China who died from drinking Baijiu,
Yeah.
which for the uninitiated, it's basically just Chinese 151.
It's like fucking
Bacardi
gasoline. It's
151.
the worst shit
Yeah,
I've ever drank in my entire life.
yeah.
But it fucks you up. Uh Hey, internet! Thanks for joining us on this wild ride of outrage. I've been your co-host, Derek Bolin. You can no longer follow me on Twitter, but I'm out there other places on the internet, so feel free to.
You can follow me on Twitter at SuperDalebot, but you might have to look for me because apparently, if some asshole cucks ban me and block me, then I don't show up in other people's feeds. Thanks a lot, jerks.
Just do what everyone else is. Just be like, I've been shadow banned. I'm too risque.
I'm pretty sure that's the only
too
reason.
dangerous.
Oh, you know what I was thinking of doing? Should we get YouTube Premium? Do you think that would help juice the stats of?
Does it?
I don't know. You figure since we host this on YouTube, if we had YouTube Premium, it would show up in other people's algorithms better. But I was thinking about it because now YouTube has 2 unskippable ads.
Yeah.
Now at like the
Haven't
beginning
they
of
had
every
that for a
video.
while?
No, they've had like multiple ads, but usually you could skip them after like 10 seconds. But now there's like it's like it feels like everything I want to go watch on YouTube has like 2 ads. And it's like, do you know how much YouTube Premium is off
No,
chance, par chance?
I do
I
not.
mean, I'm sure it's $10 a month or whatever, which I'm paying for stupid streaming sites anyways.
You are.
Yeah. Oh, you can follow the podcast Twitter at Outragefactpod.
Outrage Factory.
Send us an email, give us some feedback, tell us which one of us is funnier or more handsome. We already know. At outragefactpod at gmail.com. Stop by the Facebook, facebook.com
Rate, review, and
backslash
subscribe wherever you get your podcast.
outragefactpod. Yeah.
Rate, review, subscribe. Give us five stars.
Tell
I'll
us
take
to
I'll take 4
go
stars.
make your friends listen to us in
Give
a
us 4 to 5
car
stars.
on a long, hot road trip this summer
Give us 4 or 5
because
stars.
let our voices entertain you
Minimum
on
4.
your adventures.
Maximum 5.
Yeah, give us 5 stars. Don't be culture war bullshit and give us 5 or 1.
Yeah.
Just give us 5 and
Yeah,
then
you
pretend
fucking
like we
cuck.
earned it.
You beta
Yeah.
cuck. Yeah.
Like
cuck.
Gavin Newsom is going to make a black woman the senator, you're going to make us your 5-star podcast.
Yeah. Affirmative action, but for white guy podcasters.
What are you, racist?
And until next week,
Stay angry.